Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to talk about Liong Mah knives. So I got my LaCroix Tangerine. It's probably the best. And I got a new kind of setup here. I got a whole shelving unit instead of having this little table to my right. I just had my knife case on one side and my maintenance kit on the other, and then my printer on the floor underneath, and it was this little wood table. So I got like a metal shelving unit, and I got everything set up now, my shipping stuff, my maintenance, my printer, boxes, everything. It's really nice, but I had to get rid of a floor lamp that I had in the corner, and that had a reading light on it, and that's kind of what I used to telescope like over top of my camera so that I could get lighting down here. So we'll see how this goes. I do have kind of like a desk lamp thing, but I put some daylight bulbs in, and seems to do pretty good, but it does have that kind of shine right here that the other one did, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. And then I have some of my like studio lights around me. We'll see how it comes out, but I just wanted to give it a shot. So anyway, I wanted to talk about Liong Mah knives, and specifically what's my favorite one, right? And I always talk about, same with Kyle from D2M Knives and Gear, we always talk about the Field Duty as being like the epitome of knives, right? Of production knives. And it really is, because of the absolute fantastic build quality from Riyadh, designed from Liong Mah, and the absolutely perfect detent, the drop shut action with absolutely no blade play. You're gonna hear absolutely a lot, sorry. You know, you're dead nut centered, you got a deep carry clip that's reversible, and that detent is just so good. And then the ergonomics on top of it. Being such a big knife, you know, I can get a full grip back here and then choke up here, and I'm good to go. This one specifically has an edge on it from Jeremy, Freak Show EDC. So thank you to him for sharpening this guy up for me. Fantastic edge. But even though I rave about how good this knife is, I've been carrying these two way more. This sits in the case a lot, and I pull it out a lot to kind of talk about how good it is, and talk about the detent and compare other knives to the detent of this knife. But yet it doesn't get carried as often as you think. It gets carried once every couple weeks maybe. I'm just like, oh yeah, I gotta grab the Field Duty. And my reasoning for that personally is the size. It's just a big ass knife. I mean, it's almost a 4-inch blade on this sucker, and you know, I'm not the kind of guy who really needs a 4-inch blade. I also, like, my hand size, a large glove size hand, I don't need a huge knife like that, like say Kyle might. I can even get a grip back here on this knife, which is the Field Duty EDC, which is a smaller version of it. So I get the same great design, but shrunken down to essentially my hand size, right? This one comes with Elmex, that's M390. You get titanium, you get carbon fiber, and you get a deep carry clip. Not a deep carry, you get a very nice clip, almost deep carry, with a ceramic ball in it. Much like this knife. This knife, though, is actually left-handed. He actually had these made left-handed, and then he had right-handed ones made as well. So you actually could get the version you want for your hand instead of just flipping a clip. I mean, you can see this carbon fiber is gorgeous. I do plan on sending this off to the knife modders to have some of their crazy ass shit done. Maybe some bark pattern, some ano. We'll see what happens. It's gorgeous as is, but I mean, it could be nicer, so why not, right? But you get that same beautiful spear point, drop point blade with that beautiful hole, just slimmed down a little bit, and this has that monoblock construction, which is awesome. Basically, they took a chunk of carbon fiber and milled it all out so that the backspacer essentially is the show side scale, and then it connects right into the lock side scale, so you don't have a backspacer. It's kind of like one step from being an integral, right? Really cool. Now, this one does not drop shut. like the Field Duty does. You'll see here, this guy will just guillotine on you, right? This guy here has also a fantastic detent. Maybe not as good as that one, but it's damn good. It is one of the best. I mean, it is hard to argue it's not a great detent or as good as that one. But on the close, it kind of just drops to your nail, and then you got to give it some shakes, and it closes. Now, this has Gillian bearings in it, or skiffs or something, and that helps a little bit on this knife. But I think what happened was they just went a little too big on the bearings. They should have went with 5mm on this knife instead of 1/4 inch, and then it would have been a bit more drop shut. Whereas on this knife, they went with 1/4 inch. On a big ass knife like this, it makes sense, and that blade will drop. So anyway, that's the Field Duty EDC. We'll get back to that. This is the KUF version 2. So I've had the 3 and the 4. The 3 essentially is a 3-inch version of this knife. This is a 3.5-inch blade. And the 4 is a 4-inch blade. So the 4 is more like this size, but think of it like this. So you get an all-neutral handle this long, essentially. And then you have the 4-inch version of this blade. It's just a little bit bigger, you can see there. And then the 3-inch one is a little bit smaller than that 3-inch blade of this design, right? But it has this construction. Has that carbon fiber, or G10 if you get the G10 mono block. It's almost identical to this with the titanium, the clip. It all looks the same. Elmax steel, same blade finish as this, just with this design and then the size that we're talking about. Now this one comes with a Teletubby on top, which is a very cool front flipper, top flipper. It works very well, but it looks kind of goofy. It's like a little nubbin, and I had it cut off. So I have modded this knife. Now, I love this knife. This is what I've been carrying the most lately. These two are left-handed, right? So this one's right-handed up here. These two are left-handed knives. You can also get them right-handed, obviously. But that makes a huge difference for me because I'm left-handed. Feeling a knife in its actual form for my hand is just amazing. It really is, and it's a game changer, you know what I mean? I only have a couple left-handed knives. I have these two and a Vero, and that's it. So, you know, when they come around, it's amazing, and when it's something this good, it's, you know, something I would buy right-handed almost, you know? Maybe not because it's flick, you know, finger flick, and it wouldn't really work right-handed for a lefty, but I'm just saying, like, it's a great design. I'm not just buying it like, oh, they made a lefty, like the Kaiser or whatever the shit stain they make next week that's lefty. That's not really worth it. Alright. So this knife, detent, oh my god. It's so good. Now it had that top flipper, so you gotta think maybe it would be a little light because it has a top flipper, but man, it's perfect. Because that top flipper was such a Teletubby, they could make the detent a little stronger for it instead of just having a little nub to thing. You had a huge nubbin, like it was nice, right? Detent is so good on this knife. I mean, you can't fail it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't get it to fail. That's not happening. And then again, I mean, I don't think I can do that with any of these knives. You know what I mean? Like, you break that detent, and these knives just shoot out and lock up. That's why I love Liong Mahs. You get the middle finger flick, and you get perfect detents. The ergonomics on this, man, it just fits my hand very well. It's a 3.5-inch blade, so you get a little more than you do on this. A little more of a neutral handle, but it fits my hand very well, right? I have plenty of room here to spread out, and I can get behind this blade. It's a very nice blade shape, you know, kitchen utility folder. Makes sense. The tip is on a downward angle, so I can get into labels and packages, all that good stuff. I've been using the shit out of this. The action on the close on this is very good. It's better than the EDC, not as good as the Field Duty. It's almost drop shot. I mean, it's literally like one little gentle shake, and she's like, all right, I'm going home. I have swapped these bearings out to something. I think Delrin's, could be Gillian's, I'm not sure. I believe they were 1/4 inch in here as well, which could be another reason why it's not quite drop shut. You know, they could have used 5 millimeters again, like this one, and it probably would drop shut, because you'd have less area for those bearings to be on, right? Yeah, but I absolutely am loving this knife right now, and I keep switching back and forth between these two. I carried this morning and this afternoon. I just can't decide, right? What to carry, what I like more, you know, that kind of thing. And it's weird, as a lefty, I've never even thought about carrying 2 lefty knives. You know, like if you're right-handed, you probably carry 2 knives sometimes. Like I carry 2 knives all the time. I carry one in my front left, which is a left-handed knife, and then I carry one in my back left, which is a right-handed knife. I've never thought maybe I could put this in my front left and this in my back right and have 2 lefty knives, you know? I really could do that, which is pretty cool. So I may start doing that, I don't know, but they're so similar in use case and everything, it doesn't really make sense. All right. Anyway, now that I've talked your ear off about all this stuff, what is the point of this video? Well, I wanted to make a video originally about the Field Duty EDC and the Field Duty and which one I prefer. Which one would I choose if, like, I had to choose one, right? And the answer to that is this one. I would choose the EDC because of the size, the left-handedness. The D10 is just as good. I mean, it's spot on. I wish it dropped shut. That is my only gripe with this knife. If this knife glided shut like the KUF 4.0 did, man, it would be a home run. It would probably be my favorite knife of all time. It probably would be, honestly. But it doesn't. You know, it requires some shakeage. And that still makes it a fantastic knife. It's just not legend, right? But between the two, as an EDC knife, carrying every day, all that stuff, I just prefer this because it's left-handed, because it's smaller, and it just ergonomically fits my hand better, you know? I just get more control, has a fantastic edge on it from OCD for EDC. I just love this knife. And that's not to say that this is not a fantastic knife. I mean, you'll hear me say that this is probably my second favorite knife of all time. The Evo and then the Field Duty. And that's still true. That's what's so weird about it. That is still a true statement. Yet, sorry, my battery thing popped up. Yet, I prefer this knife to carry. So it's just a weird way. It's just a weird thing, right? It's like collecting is just strange, you know? I like this knife better. I think this knife in my collection is higher up. Yet, I would rather carry this knife. Just weird, right? Then come in the KUF version 2 that I recently brought in. And man, this thing is just taking my pocket by storm. Like, I can't get it out of my pocket. For me, the only gripe I have with this knife is the access to the lock bar. It's just kind of tight, and you got to just, like, get your nail in there, and you're just using your nail, the corner of your nail, to pop that frame lock, and then you go. I guess I would want it to drop shut as well, but I mean, it is so much smoother or more droppier than this one, so I almost don't care. Like, it's so satisfying. So there's that, and then centering, man, it's funny. Like, you look at it right here, right? It looks a little bit off. Now, the actual, like, very tip of the blade is probably dead center, but it looks off, right, to the show side. You look at it from this angle, and to me, it looks like dead nuts half the time. You look at it from this angle, sorry, looks dead nuts. I don't know. It's weird to me. I do think it's a little bit off to this side. And it wasn't like that before. That happened after I got it back from Justin, OCD for EDC. So I don't know if taking the nubbin off or something caused, I don't know. I don't think he reground it or anything, so I don't see why a warp would have happened. And I have disassembled it since, and I couldn't get it dead straight. So I don't know what's going on. I think it's fine. There's no play at all. It's almost drop shut. It's not rubbing. It's not doing any of that. It's just the slightest, tiniest bit off. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, like I would want it to be like right there, right? That's where I'd want it, right there. But it's not. So yeah, that drives me a little bit nuts inside, just because I'm OCD like that about stuff. But I also got some slight rusting, like dots, like right here and here. Came right off with the rust eraser and a little bit of flits. So, but this thing, man, I don't know. I think it's up there. I think it's like, you know, which one? I don't know, honestly. I really love this design. I love just the monoblock. I love all that. But this thing is just so fidgety, and the sounds it makes are incredible. I don't know if it comes across, but the way that detent pops, and occasionally it tings when it closes, it's just amazing. It really is. So I don't know which one I like more. I think it might be this one. So I'm thinking the KUF version 2 is my favorite Liong Mah currently. So that was kind of the point of this video, is to figure out what's my favorite Liong Mah. I think it's this guy. It is. You know what? It is this one. Yet I still love these two as much. And this is still number 2 in the collection. I don't know. It's weird, man. Knife collecting's weird. I'm weird. That's just how it is. But there you go. 3 different Liong Mahs. 3 fantabulous knives. An amazing designer. An amazing production OEM and Riyadh. Just awesome. Some amazing mod work. You know, you had MB Wild did the Anno on this guy. OCD for EDC did the nubbin chop off, and then I'm gonna have Knife Modders work on this one. You know, just I love this community, and Liong Mah is a part of it. All those modders are a part of it. You guys are a part of it. LaCroix is a part. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Just I don't know. Wanted to talk about Liong Mah knives and babble. So I really appreciate you guys letting me rant and rave as usual. I love you all, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will catch you later.